Hi, I am Puneet Hegde. Today we are talking about energy efficiency at our homes and housing societies. I am a certified energy auditor and a professional who works with energy conservation mainly in the industries. But we thought that energy conservation starts at home and therefore we have made this video. I would like to start with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. We do not inherit the earth and its resources from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. This is a very strong statement because what we do today will affect the next generations to come. We look at energy conservation at three levels. The first is the individual or office or industry level, where any energy saved means you save money, which is good to improve profits, and generally saving energy gives a lot of happiness. At the national level, if we save energy, we are less dependent on imports, where oil fuel is basically imported and that is used for our vehicles, our power plants and so many energy producing or energy utilizing industries. If we save this energy, definitely it would be a service to the nation. At a global level, we save energy helps the planet at large because emissions in one part of the world sooner or later affects all other parts, and we have to combat global warming, and reducing emissions by saving energy is a very important aspect of this. The energy use per person is dependent on his or her lifestyle and the country in which they live. To give an example, the per capita energy consumption of USA is 12 times more than that of India. Now India has a large rural population and therefore these averages are in this way. But our population is increasing its consumption, its market is growing, and there will be need for energy efficiency to step in at this time to avoid the significant burden on the environment as we develop. What is energy efficiency? It is basically to reduce the energy for a specific product or a specific process without affecting its intended output, without compromising comfort or safety. So energy efficiency basically is about getting the process, getting the work done with the minimum use of energy and natural resources. If this energy is saved at the user end, it is the most beneficial because every unit that is saved at the user end, at the appliance where the energy is being used, it avoids the generation of more than 2 units at the power plant. Why is this so? Because there is an efficiency at each step, from the power plant to the transmission to the wiring in the house to the appliance itself. And if you consider all these cascade efficiencies, you would realize that 1 unit saved at the appliance is more than 2 units of avoided generation. Energy efficiency at the user end is the most cost effective way to increase capacity without new power plants. So let's start our journey towards energy conservation by first understanding how our bill is calculated. Most of us pay our electricity bills based on the units consumed. A unit is kilowatt hour or kWh in short, and the bills that we pay are based on the kWh consumption of our homes. Let's do a simple exercise. Suppose you have 18 watt CFL lamps, 50 numbers of them, and they operate for 15 hours. How much electricity would they consume in terms of units, and how do you calculate it? So we basically multiply the wattage by the number of lamps. So 18 into 50 would make it 900 watt, and if 900 watt goes for 15 hours, it would consume 13,500 watt hour of energy, which is equal to 13.5 units or kWh. It's not so difficult, right? Now, if we account for all the electricity consumed in our homes, we include the lamps, fan, television, refrigerator, microwave, geyser, all of them. We take the wattage, we take the numbers, we take the hours per day, calculate the watt hour per day and then units per day. We will be able to accurately predict our electricity bill in terms of units per month. In the example here, we have lamps, 10 numbers of them of 18 watt which run 5 hours a day. We have fans, 65 watt each, 2 numbers, 8 hours a day, and so on. And all of them are converted or calculated as watt hour per day and then added up, and we get the kilowatt hour per day and kilowatt hour per month. In our experience, we have seen homes consuming right from 50 units per month to about 400 units per month, depending on the appliances and the usage. Typically, the geysers, refrigerators, lighting and fans constitute the major energy consumptions in our homes. Other than these, we have washing machines which consume about 0.8 to 1 kWh per cycle. We have induction cooking, rice cookers depending on the usage. We have water pumps, maybe individual, maybe at society level, which consume energy. And depending on the lifestyle of the individuals, we have loads like air conditioning, home theaters, etc., which also add to the energy cost. For residential users, the billing is based on the kWh consumption. Also, it is slab-wise units consumption, which means for lesser units the tariff is lesser, and as the units per month increases, the base rate for the tariff also increases. In addition to the base tariff rate, there are certain fixed charges, wheeling charges, electricity duty, fuel adjustment charges, which have to be paid anyways. So basically, if your consumption is more, your per unit cost also increases a lot. In addition to the electricity bills of their homes, people living in housing societies also pay for the electricity usage of the common utilities in the housing societies. These common utilities include lighting for lobbies, staircase, utility rooms, offices, basement, parkings, street lighting, garden lighting, and so on. They also include water pumping, miscellaneous loads like lifts, direct to home for televisions, CCTVs, etc. And some societies have sewage treatment plants. These also come under the common utilities. Based on the studies at housing societies, we observe that lighting, pumping, lifts and sewage treatment plants, if they are in the housing society, are the major common utilities which consume energy. For benchmarking purposes, we calculate a figure of kWh per residence for comparing societies with similar amenities against their energy consumptions. Considering the basic amenities with swimming pool and without STP in a housing society, the typical energy consumption is about 65 to 80 kWh per residence per month for common utilities. However, we have seen that there are housing societies where inefficiencies are more, and even up to 200 kWh per residence per month have been observed. Other than electricity, we also use gas for cooking and we use fuel for our vehicles. These are also avenues where energy can be saved. We are able to utilize a very small portion of the energy input for actual cooking in our gas stoves. The rest of the energy is wasted and it goes in the form of heat to the atmosphere. For our vehicles, the conversion efficiency is as low as 15 to 30%, and we have not even accounted for the refining and the fuel transport in this inefficiency. A good amount of energy can be saved in both gas cooking as well as vehicles. This session was basically to create an awareness of our energy usage and observe the avenues where energy can be saved. All in all, we have to practice energy modesty and energy efficiency at each level. We have to adopt renewable energy to the extent possible. We have to account for our own energy and monitor it regularly so that we can save it. In our next session, we will be talking about the equipments and their energy consumptions, the best practices for them so that they run the most efficiently. As an assignment for this session, we would like you to make a list of all loads in your home, make an estimate of the wattage of each equipment and the hours of operation, and estimate how much is your electricity bill going to be based on your assumptions. Compare it with the last bill and also calculate the rupees per kWh for your energy bill.